Imagine this. You're standing in front of a mirror, but instead of seeing your reflection, you see someone else staring back. Someone who thrives on controlling your emotions, hijacking your peace, and feeding off your energy. That's what it feels like to deal with a narcissist. They aren't just people. They're emotional vampires, masters of manipulation, and architects of chaos. But here's the good news. You hold more power than you think. Today, I want to share with you 7 ways to reclaim your strength, protect your soul, and yes, even torture a narcissist. Not through cruelty, but through empowerment. Narcissism, at its core, is a personality trait characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. However, beneath this grandiose exterior often lies a fragile ego that is vulnerable to even the slightest criticism or perceived rejection. To truly understand how to navigate interactions with narcissists, it's essential to delve into what drives their behavior and why they operate the way they do. Narcissists thrive on external validation because their internal sense of self-worth is either underdeveloped or entirely absent. They rely heavily on others to affirm their superiority, which means they are constantly seeking opportunities to dominate conversations, relationships, and situations. This insatiable hunger for attention manifests in various ways, whether through boasting about their accomplishments, exaggerating their talents, or belittling those around them to elevate themselves. The manipulative tendencies of narcissists stem from their desire to maintain control over their environment and the people within it. They often employ tactics such as gaslighting, guilt-tripping, or playing the victim to ensure that others remain compliant and continue providing the admiration they crave. For instance, if someone challenges their authority or disagrees with them, a narcissist might twist the narrative to make the other person feel irrational or overly sensitive. This manipulation not only serves to protect their fragile ego, but also reinforces their dominance in social dynamics. Understanding these patterns is crucial because it allows you to recognize when you're being drawn into their web of manipulation. Once you identify the signs, such as constant one-upmanship, deflecting blame, or emotional blackmail, you can begin to detach emotionally and avoid falling prey to their schemes. It's important to acknowledge that narcissism exists on a spectrum. While some individuals may exhibit mild narcissistic traits, others may meet the criteria for narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, a diagnosable mental health condition. Those with NPD tend to display more extreme behaviors, including a pervasive pattern of entitlement, exploitation of others, and an inability to form genuine connection. Regardless of where someone falls on this spectrum, interacting with a narcissist can be emotionally draining unless you approach the situation with awareness and intentionality. By educating yourself about narcissism, you equip yourself with the tools needed to protect your mental and emotional well-being while navigating challenging relationships. Indifference, when wielded correctly, can be one of the most potent weapons against a narcissist. This concept revolves around the idea of withholding the emotional reactions and attention that narcissists desperately seek. Think of it like this. A narcissist operates much like a performer on a stage. Their entire existence hinges on having an audience that applauds, reacts, or engages with their antics. Without an audience, their performance loses meaning. When you respond to their provocations with indifference, by refusing to react emotionally or get drawn into arguments, you effectively strip away the spotlight they crave. This act of detachment can leave them feeling powerless and frustrated, as they are unable to elicit the response they desire. To practice indifference effectively, it's vital to cultivate emotional resilience. This involves training yourself to remain calm and composed, even in the face of deliberate attempts to provoke you. For example, if a narcissist tries to insult you or push your buttons, instead of retaliating or showing visible distress, you might choose to shrug it off with a neutral expression or change the subject entirely. Over time, this consistent lack of reaction sends a clear message. Their efforts to manipulate or upset you will not yield the desired outcome. As a result, they may grow increasingly agitated, knowing that their usual tactics are no longer effective. However, achieving true indifference requires a shift in mindset. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is fine. Rather, it's about recognizing that the narcissist's behavior reflects their own insecurities and issues, not your worth. By detaching emotionally, you reclaim your power and refuse to let their actions dictate your state of mind. This doesn't mean ignoring harmful behavior altogether. Instead, it means responding strategically. For instance, if a narcissist spreads rumors about you, instead of confronting them angrily, you could address the issue calmly and factually. Then move on without giving them further ammunition. Another aspect of indifference is learning to prioritize your peace over engaging in unnecessary drama. Narcissists thrive on chaos and conflict. So every time you rise to their bait, you inadvertently feed their need for turmoil. By choosing to disengage, you disrupt this cycle and create space for healthier interactions. But with patience and practice, you can develop the ability to rise above their provocations and maintain your composure. In doing so, you not only protect your mental health, but also assert your independence from their influence. Boundaries serve as the foundation of any healthy relationship, yet they are often non-existent or severely tested in interactions with narcissists. These individuals have a knack for pushing limits, disregarding personal space, and exploiting vulnerabilities to maintain control. Setting firm boundaries is therefore essential to safeguarding your well-being and preventing a narcissist from encroaching on your autonomy. However, establishing and enforcing boundaries with a narcissist requires clarity, consistency, and courage, as they will inevitably challenge your resolve at every turn. The first step in setting boundaries is identifying what you consider acceptable and unacceptable behavior. This process involves reflecting on your values, needs, and limits and communicating them explicitly to the narcissist. For example, if you find their constant interruptions during conversations disrespectful, you might say, "I value our discussions, but I need you to listen without interrupting me." Similarly, if they invade your privacy by prying into personal matters, you could assert, "I prefer to keep certain aspects of my life private, and I'd appreciate it if you respected that." Clear communication is key, as ambiguity leaves room for misinterpretation and manipulation. Once you've communicated your boundaries, the real challenge lies in maintaining them. Narcissists are notorious for testing limits, often using guilt, anger, or charm to persuade you to bend the rules. They may accuse you of being selfish, unreasonable, or unkind when you enforce your boundaries, attempting to make you feel guilty for prioritizing your needs. It's crucial to resist these tactics and stand firm in your decision. Consistency is paramount. If you allow exceptions or waver in your stance, the narcissist will interpret this as permission to disregard your boundaries entirely. Enforcing boundaries also requires emotional strength, as it often involves saying no to requests or demands that infringe upon your well-being. For instance, if a narcissist asks you to drop everything to cater to their needs, you must be prepared to decline, politely but firmly. You might say, "I understand this is important to you, but I have commitments I need to honor right now." While this may lead to temporary tension or backlash, holding your ground reinforces the message that your time and energy are valuable. Over time, the narcissist may come to realize that their attempts to dominate or manipulate you are futile, forcing them to adjust their behavior or distance themselves altogether. It's worth noting that setting boundaries is not about punishing or controlling the narcissist. Rather, it's about protecting yourself and fostering mutual respect. Healthy boundaries create a framework for balanced interactions, ensuring that both parties' needs are acknowledged and addressed. However, given the narcissist's tendency to resist accountability, it's possible that they will struggle to adapt to these new parameters. In such cases, it's important to focus on what you can control, your actions, responses, and choices, and accept that you cannot force someone else to change. Ultimately, setting boundaries empowers you to take ownership of your life and establish a sense of agency, even in the presence of challenging personalities. Building self-worth and confidence is perhaps the most transformative strategy for dealing with narcissists, as it shifts the dynamic from one of dependency to empowerment. Narcissists prey on individuals who doubt themselves, as low self-esteem makes it easier for them to manipulate and exploit. When you cultivate a strong sense of self-worth, you become less susceptible to their tactics and more capable of asserting your independence. Confidence acts as a shield, protecting you from the emotional blows that narcissists often inflict, while self-worth anchors you in the knowledge that your value is inherent and not contingent upon external validation. Developing self-worth begins with introspection and self-compassion. Many people fall into the trap of tying their worth to achievements, appearances, or the opinions of others, a mindset that narcissists exploit effortlessly. Instead, focus on embracing your intrinsic value as a human being. Remind yourself daily that you deserve love, respect, and happiness simply because you exist. Practices such as journaling, affirmations, and mindfulness can help reinforce this belief, allowing you to build a solid foundation of self-esteem. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who uplift and encourage you, creating an environment where your confidence can flourish. Confidence, on the other hand, is cultivated through action and experience. Start by setting small, achievable goals that align with your values and aspirations. Each accomplishment, no matter how minor, contributes to a growing sense of competence and self-assurance. For example, if public speaking intimidates you, taking steps to improve your skills, such as joining a local group or practicing in front of friends, can boost your confidence over time. Similarly, standing up for yourself in everyday situations, whether it's voicing your opinion in a meeting or declining an unreasonable request, reinforces your ability to advocate for your needs. When interacting with narcissists, your newfound confidence becomes a powerful deterrent to their manipulative behavior. A confident individual exudes authenticity and poise, qualities that narcissists find difficult to undermine. Instead of second-guessing themselves or seeking approval, confident people trust their instincts and remain steadfast in their convictions. This unwavering self-assurance disrupts the narcissist's attempts to sow doubt or insecurity, leaving them scrambling to regain control. Furthermore, confidence enables you to set and enforce boundaries with greater ease as you no longer fear rejection. It's also important to recognize that building self-worth and confidence is an ongoing journey, not a destination. There will be moments of doubt and setbacks along the way, particularly when dealing with narcissists who excel at undermining others. During these times, remind yourself of your progress and lean on your support network for encouragement. Remember that your worth is non-negotiable, regardless of how a narcissist tries to diminish. By nurturing your self-esteem and embracing your unique strengths, you transform into a force that narcissists cannot easily sway or intimidate. Humor, when used strategically, can be a remarkably effective tool for disarming narcissists and diffusing tense situations. Unlike direct confrontation, which often escalates conflict, humor introduces levity and unpredictability, catching the narcissist off guard and undermining their attempts to dominate. The key to leveraging humor lies in its ability to neutralize negativity without stooping to the narcissist level. By responding to their provocations with wit or sarcasm, you shift the tone of the interaction, making it harder for them to maintain their authoritative stance. One of the reasons humor works so well against narcissists is that it disrupts their expectations. Narcissists thrive on eliciting specific reactions, anger, frustration, or submission, that validate their sense of superiority. When you respond with laughter or a clever quip, you deny them the satisfaction of seeing you rattled. For example, if a narcissist makes a condescending remark about your abilities, you might reply with a playful jab, such as, "Wow, I didn't realize you moonlighted as a career coach." This light-hearted response not only deflates their attempt to belittle you, but also subtly highlights the absurdity of their comment. Sarcasm, in particular, can be a double-edged sword when dealing with narcissists. On one hand, it allows you to express dissent or critique indirectly, avoiding outright confrontation. On the other hand, it risks being misinterpreted or escalating tensions if not delivered carefully. The trick is to use sarcasm sparingly and ensure it remains good-natured rather than biting. For instance, if a narcissist boasts excessively about their achievements, you might quip, "Wow, with all these accomplishments, maybe you should write a memoir." The underlying message is clear. You're poking fun at their arrogance, but the playful tone prevents it from coming across as hostile. Another benefit of humor is its ability to create distance between you and the narcissist's toxic behavior. By framing their antics as laughable or ridiculous, you diminish their impact and reduce their hold over your emotions. For example, if a narcissist tries to guilt trip you into doing something, you might respond with exaggerated theatrics, such as clutching your chest and dramatically declaring, "Oh no, I've been caught red-handed. Whatever shall I do?" This exaggerated response flips the script, turning their manipulation into a source of amusement rather than distress. While humor can be a powerful weapon, it's important to gauge the context and relationship before deploying it. Not everyone responds positively to jokes, and some narcissists may perceive humor as mockery or disrespect, leading to further conflict. Additionally, relying too heavily on humor can inadvertently trivialize serious issues, so it's crucial to strike a balance. Use humor as a supplementary tool rather than a primary defense mechanism, reserving it for situations where it can genuinely diffuse tension or highlight the narcissist's irrationality. Ultimately, humor serves as a reminder that you don't have to take a narcissist's behavior too seriously. By approaching their antics with levity and wit, you reclaim your power and demonstrate that their attempts to control or upset you are ultimately ineffective. In doing so, you transform potentially damaging interactions into opportunities for growth, resilience, and even enjoyment. Empathy is a cornerstone of healthy relationships, fostering understanding and connection between individuals. However, when dealing with narcissists, empathy must be tempered with discernment to avoid enabling their toxic behavior. Empathizing with a narcissist does not mean excusing or justifying their actions. Rather, it involves acknowledging their humanity while holding them accountable for their choices. Striking this delicate balance requires a nuanced approach that prioritizes compassion without compromising your boundaries or well-being. At its core, empathy entails recognizing that narcissists, like anyone else, are shaped by their experiences, traumas, and insecurities. Many narcissists develop their inflated egos as a defense mechanism to mask deep-seated feelings of inadequacy or fear of abandonment. Understanding this underlying vulnerability can help you depersonalize their behavior, viewing it as a reflection of their struggles rather than a direct attack on you. For example, if a narcissist lashes out in anger or criticism, you might remind yourself that their words likely stem from their own pain or frustration rather than an accurate assessment of your worth. However, empathy should never come at the expense of enabling. Enabling occurs when you constantly accommodate a narcissist's demands, excuses, or manipulations, reinforcing their belief that their behavior is acceptable. This not only perpetuates their toxicity, but also erodes your self-respect and autonomy. To avoid enabling, it's essential to couple empathy with firm boundaries. For instance, if a narcissist confides in you about their struggles, you can offer support and understanding while still maintaining your limits. You might say, "I hear that you're going through a tough time, and I'm here to listen. At the same time, I need you to respect my boundaries and treat me with kindness." Practicing empathy without enabling also involves resisting the urge to rescue or fix the narcissist. While it's natural to want to help someone in distress, attempting to solve their problems or shield them from consequences often backfires. Narcissists are unlikely to change unless they face the repercussions of their actions. And stepping in to mitigate these consequences only prolongs their dysfunction. Instead, focus on offering constructive feedback and encouragement, empowering them to take responsibility for their growth. For example, if a narcissist complains about losing friends due to their behavior, you might gently suggest, perhaps reflecting on how your actions affect others could help rebuild those relationships. Remember that empathy is a two-way street. Just as you extend compassion to the narcissist, it's equally important to prioritize your own emotional needs. Practicing self-empathy involves tuning into your feelings, validating your experiences, and seeking support when necessary. Surround yourself with people who genuinely care about your well-being and provide a safe space to process your emotions. By nurturing your inner resilience, you ensure that your empathy remains grounded and sustainable, rather than depleting or codependent. In summary, empathy without enabling is about walking a fine line, acknowledging the narcissist's humanity while refusing to tolerate harmful behavior. By combining compassion with accountability, you foster healthier dynamics and protect your mental and emotional health. Dealing with a narcissist is never easy. It's like navigating a storm where the winds constantly try to push you off course. But remember this, storms don't last forever, and neither does their control over you. By mastering the art of silence, setting unshakable boundaries, building your self-worth, using humor as a shield, refusing to play their games, and practicing empathy without enabling, you can rise above their toxicity. And when you live your best life boldly and authentically, you become untouchable. In the end, the greatest revenge isn't hatred or bitterness, it's happiness. It's the quiet confidence that no matter how hard they try, they can't dim your light. So go ahead, shine brightly. Let your success, your joy, and your resilience be the ultimate torture for anyone who ever tried to bring you down. Because the truth is, when you refuse to let a narcissist define you, you not only win, you inspire others to do the same. Thank you.